Alright guys, J-Minerrr here, back with another video. Hope you guys are all doing well. If you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are already almost at 400 subscribers as of the recording of this video. And we are on our way to 500 quick, so make sure if you have not done so, you subscribe to enter to win that 3060 Ti Founders Edition card, which looks like we will be giving that card away pretty quickly here. Okay guys, we are already at 400 subscribers and we are on our way to 5. And after we fly past 5, we will be doing another giveaway at 1,000 subscribers, guys. All right, so today's video, what we are going to do is we are going to touch up the 3080 rig. We are going to add a couple of GPUs to that 3080 rig right there. As you guys can see, we've got 2 spaces missing. I don't like to have spaces missing in a rig, so we're gonna take care of that, okay? We're gonna add a couple of more 3080s. They're the For the Win 3 edition 3080s. We're gonna add the 3080s to that rig, and then we're gonna touch on profitability and exactly how much money that rig in particular is making. Okay guys, we're gonna do that. And also, it looks like we got some more goodies in. We got some more goodies in, guys. And as we do the 3080, since we are going to put the extra couple of GPUs on the 3080 rig, we will as well be go ahead and upgrading them to the Wathai fans. We're gonna upgrade the fans on the rig. Okay, so when I had first built the frame, the rig came with, when I first built the frame actually came with fans. So I just went ahead and used those stock fans that came with it. I don't like to do that. I just wanted to get it put together. And they look like they might be okay, so I just went ahead and used those, but they're not okay. So those fans are really bad. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap them out for the Wathai fans, guys. And I remember I had told you guys those Wathai fans, they sound like jet engines when you turn them up. So what we're gonna do on this 3080 rig is we're gonna add 2 GPUs to the 3080 rig, and then we are gonna swap the fans out for the Wathai fans. Okay guys, I know that we are also gonna get to the full rig build. I have that done already. I just can't, I know I'm going out of order here guys, but I just can't sit around with GPUs just sitting there. They have to be running. They have to be making money, guys. They have to. A GPU sitting in a box is a GPU that is not making you money. You are not returning on your investment. All right, so we're gonna get to it. If you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you leave a comment. We are over 400 subscribers and we are on our way to 500 subscribers. So make sure you enter into that drawing, because 501, I'm gonna cut it off and you will not be entered to win. So just make sure you subscribe, make sure you get into the drawing to win. I thought it was pretty cool. That card I paid for out of my own pocket. It's my money. Paid 1,400 bucks for that card. So hope you guys enjoy it, whoever the winner may be. All right guys, so let's go ahead and get to it. What we're gonna have to do first is we are gonna have to shut this rig down. It has uptime of, what do we look at, 5 days. I haven't touched it in 5 days, so it's been consistently running for 5 days. I like, you know, to have consistent uptime on a rig. So I hate to go ahead and shut it down, but it does have to be shut down for a while for us to be able to access those fans. And what I was also telling you guys before in one of my videos was what I don't like about this particular Veta frame here is that the fans are only held together by those little yellow clips in the back, and they're not held together on the bottom at all. They will stay in place, but I'm just not a fan of that design. All right, so what we're gonna do is, first and foremost, we are gonna shut this rig down. Then we're gonna get it over to the workbench, and then we are gonna add a couple of GPUs to it, and then we are gonna swap the fans out. All right, then let's also get to opening our goodies as well. We'll do that at the end of the video. All right guys, here we go. All right guys, so we got our rig up on the workbench here, and as I was mistaken here, as I said that they didn't have the clips on the bottom, they actually do have the clips on the bottom of these. But what I didn't like was the flimsiness of them. as you can see, like this, I just don't like it. It serves its purpose, don't get it wrong. They are gonna sit here like this, but as you can see, they're just, you know, I guess they will hold. I'm not saying that they don't. I just prefer the other style frame because it actually holds the fans in place like that. I guess one benefit actually to having the fans like this with these little connectors here is that it does give it some flexibility here, because if I don't know if you guys can see from there, but you'll see when I take these fans off here, but the For the Win 3 3080s size cards, the size of the card is actually pretty small in comparison to the Asus Strix ROG Strix card. Now, this card is actually so massive, it's way bigger, it's thicker. Not only is it thicker than the EVGA RTX 3080, the For the Win 3 edition, but it's actually longer as well. So this card actually is pushing these fans out like this, and that's why the fans actually wedge out like this. It's only from this one GPU on the end here, this one 3080. It is actually so thick and massive, this Asus ROG Strix card, and you guys will be able to see it better when I pull these fans off, but it actually has, it's so big, it's just pushing at the back of the fan. It just wants to push the fans right off. So I guess in that sense, the benefit to having this frame, if you had, you know, say one of these cards or 8 of these cards, is that it likely, and I don't know if that Veta frame actually has more distance in between it here and here. I doubt it does because they're actually made to stack and lock on top of each other. So I assume that it's the same distance. So I don't know how that will work. I don't know how that will work if you could actually get 8 of these 3080 ROG Strix cards on to the Veta frame with the VC3 or the Minor Case 4 Veta frame. The style that has the frames, frames for the fans going all the way across, and it actually holds them in place. But either way, all right, that's another story. These are the 3080s that we are going to be installing into this rig. We're gonna pop them right here in this open space right here, and then we'll add a PCIe adapter to this card, to this motherboard. I'm sorry, because the motherboard only has 6 PCIe slots, so we're gonna have to use an adapter, and we're gonna use a 4-to-1 PCIe adapter, and that way we are able to convert and take a motherboard that can only take 6 cards and make that motherboard run 8+ cards. Okay, let's go ahead and let's get these fans off first. Then we'll be able to access the GPUs a little bit better. Then we'll get our GPUs installed. Then we'll split our cables and we'll run our lines, and then we are actually going to have to use these the fan controller and the splitters for the fans, because the fans are 4-pin fans. These are the Wathai fans that we are going to be using. These fans are massive. When you actually turn these fans on and actually turn the fan controller up, they sound like a jet engine revving up. Like when I actually stand behind this rig on that side, because this is obviously the back side, you can actually feel on, and I'm talking about the 3070 rig that the Wathai fans are on. You can literally feel the air coming through the rig, and you can feel the air while it's pushing on you while you're standing in front of it. That's how powerful these fans are, and that's why I ordered a box of 30 of them, because these are awesome. They are definitely going to keep your cards cool. This is the best fan on the market, in my opinion. I have some, oh man, I've got a ton of different fan brands down here. I've got some up here fans. I've also got some Noctua Rate Redo fans as well. Yeah, and I've actually, these are probably the best fan by far. Okay, 5200 RPM fan. I'll leave a link to these in the description and the website below. They are a 4-pin fan, so you will need to get the controller and the splitters for them, because if you want to, or not necessarily, it depends on how many of these you want to run. So if you're only going to run 4 fans, then you won't need them. If you're going to run anything more than 4 fans, you will need the splitter to go to it. Okay, All right, so, and then the thermal pads. All right, one thing about everybody says 3080s, they always thermal throttle, and yes, they do have a problem with thermal throttling. I have yet to have to tackle that problem because I primarily, because of the ambient temperature in the room. I keep the room cool, and as a matter of fact, I'm doing a really big install on an air handler system, and it's gonna be an air exchange system. I made, and again, like I'm gonna tell you guys everything, I'm always transparent. I made the awful mistake of just thinking that, because I came in here a couple mornings, it was 115 degrees ambient temperature in the room, and that's just, as you know, way too hot. The cards were like running, and you know, they were super hot, they were running hot. And along with the heat in the room, it's a recipe for disaster. They're gonna start the thermal throttle. And the problem that I had was, you know, there's just too much heat in the room. And this is only, keep in mind, this is only with this is with 3 rigs running at this time. So we got 3 rigs running. We got a 6x3060 Ti rig, we got an 8x3070 rig, and an 8x3080 rig running in a room that's about 10x10. And when I came in here one morning, it was 115 degrees ambient temperature. So the temporary fix that I did right now is I kind of created like a wind tunnel through the room, and I got that idea from a friend of mine that was actually kind of testing some stuff out, and he kind of created a wind tunnel in his basement, and it helped. But what I did was I've actually, if you can see through this window here, I've got 2 box fans here. So I've got one that is bringing cool air in, and then I've got one that's exhausting hot air out. So that is, and then I've got the 2 4500 CFM Caterpillar fans, or I'm sorry, 4500 RPM Caterpillar fans. No, I'm sorry, 4000 CFM Caterpillar fans. Those things move a ton. I mean, those things move air so hard that it actually blows off all the bottoms of the risers. I can't even keep them on there. There's just no way. I can't turn the fan up that high. But I want to keep the cards cool, so I just let them blow off because I have no choice. I was at it for a week. I just keep popping them back on and try to make them stick, and no way. They always come off. That fan is so strong, it just pushes so much air. But again, the key is keeping your cards cool. Okay, now my point to all this is that these things produce heat. When I got my first 3060 Ti rig and that thing ran, and I came in there the next morning, I was actually extremely shocked at how much heat that 3060 Ti rig pulled off. Now, another thing that you can do for your 3080s is you can change out the thermal pads. I haven't done that yet, but I do have Fuji Poly thermal pads. These are probably the best thermal pads that you can buy that are on the market. I know, but I've seen other people on YouTube who use different ones. Like I said, I'm a guy that believes in you get what you pay for, but not even that. This is just the highest quality thermal pad that they make out here. Okay, so this is the Ultra Extreme, and that's 17.0. Okay, so like, yeah, these are the best out there. I think the ones on Amazon, I want to say, are like 8 or 7. I'm not sure. So 8.0 or 7.0 or something like that. But either way, the Fuji Poly thermal pads are the best on the market. So I eventually may change out the thermal pads if it does get to that. However, as I said, okay, back to the wind tunnel. So with the fans, 2 fans here going in and out of the room, taking air in, one bringing air in, one bringing air out. Then I've also keep the door open as well, and I've got 1 fan in the door that is bringing cool air from the outside basement area into the room. So it's kind of coming in and then bringing it out, and then it's also bringing cool air in, and then we're sucking it out. That's my temporary fix for right now. Along with the Caterpillar fans. And also, and I'm going to tell you this, when I did that, it was night and day. It was like such an extreme difference than like trying to keep the door shut. And not only that, I also installed a ceiling fan in the room to try to keep the air swirling around in here a little bit. But it was still just keep that heat in here. But when I created that wind tunnel, oh my God, it was just night and day. It's been like, I want to say, a 20-degree ambient temperature difference ever since. I think the hottest I've seen it when I've come in here is probably like 80 now. But tomorrow, and it should be here tomorrow, my permanent fix is I have a 2.5 ton Johnston air exchanger air handler coming, and I'm gonna get that installed. And what that does is that's gonna actually take the hot air out of the room and bring cool air in the room. The mistake I made, and oh, this is gonna suck, and like I said, I'm gonna tell you guys everything. I ordered an air conditioner. I just said, hey, I need to cool the room off. It's getting hot in here. I ordered the same air conditioner that's in my office. It's like a mini split, one of the overhead air conditioners. And once I kind of talked to the heating and the heating and AC guy, and I told him what I was doing, and he's like, oh, well, what are you doing, like Bitcoin miners or something like that? And I didn't understand what he was saying because he's Hispanic, and he's like, Bitcoin, you know? And I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah, no, I did this install with this other guy, and you know, he did an air handler system. And he's like, yeah, he was mining Bitcoin. And I'm like, oh, Bitcoin. And then I finally got it. He's like, yeah, Bitcoin, man, Bitcoin, yeah. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. And he actually understood what I was doing. And he's like, no, that's not what you need, because all you're gonna do in that sense is you're gonna be putting cold air on top of hot air in the room, but it's not going anywhere. So eventually the cards are just gonna sweat and the heat is just gonna stay in the room. It's gonna feel cool in there, but you're not actually excavating the heat. So what he recommended I get was the air handler. Okay, and that's a 2-piece system. One piece goes in here. It's gonna go on the wall vertically, hanging up here, and then another component goes outside, and that looks like the same thing that will go on the outside of a mini split, kind of like a mini central air unit. Okay, so that should be here tomorrow. But this is the kicker. I ordered the AC, the mini split, from Home Depot, and I actually tried to cancel it, and they already shipped it out. So I couldn't cancel it. So I actually had to pay for the new one and order the new one. And then Home Depot said, well, the only way you can do it is like just try to refuse the shipment when it gets there. I'm like, lady, I don't want to refuse a 1-ton air conditioner when it gets here. But, you know, she's like, well, that's the only way. And if they do end up leaving it, then just call us and we'll arrange for them to come back and pick it up. So luckily, again, rookie mistake. I should have talked to him first, told him what I was doing. He would have said, hey, I recommend, you know, this for this. So the gist of this is always consult with a professional first, because like I said, just me running, you know, thinking, oh, okay, I just need an air conditioner to cool the room off, totally ordered the wrong thing, and now I'm gonna have a 1-ton device dropped off at my door that I'm not gonna be using. I have no idea what I'll do with it. I'll probably just let it sit at my front door. Or I'm gonna actually try to refuse it, of course, but if they, you know, just happen to sneak it there and leave it, then I'm gonna have to wait until they pick it back up. And the crazy thing about it is the new one will for sure be here tomorrow, quicker than the wrong one that I ordered that I cannot cancel yet. Okay, so I will end up getting my money back for the wrong one that I ordered, but I have to wait until they ship it all the way back and Home Depot gets it back. Okay. So, sorry guys about that, making this a really long video. We're gonna get to the fans, we're gonna get to the GPU install, and then we are going to get this rig fired back up. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get all the fans off first for you guys, and then we're gonna be able to see the GPUs. We're gonna throw the GPUs on there, install the GPUs. We're gonna get our PCIe splitter, we're gonna install our new fans, and then we're gonna get our rig back up and running. And then we're gonna talk about profitability. How much profitability that this rig actually makes. Okay, and I'll tell you guys exactly currently to date what this rig is gonna make. Or I'm sorry, I'll tell you guys currently to date what this rig is making today, or what it will be making today, how much per card, let's just say, and how much in total that the rig makes. All right guys, so let me get these fans off first, and then we'll get to throwing the GPUs on, okay? All right. All right, guys, so we're gonna get our fans off, and then we're gonna go from this side all the way down, and we're gonna take each, we're gonna take them all off, and then we'll take them, put them on the table, and then we'll take them apart, put the new Wathai fans on. Just to give you guys an idea, these are the Wathai fans that we are gonna be putting on and replacing for these. These do have cool LEDs in them that light up, but oh my gosh. Like I said, this is the best fan on the market, in my opinion. Okay, so I got my little iFixit kit out as well because I'm gonna need to take off all these screws here. So
one of the different style coming in where it's like has a daughter board and run one USB runs out to a daughter board that then you can run.
All right. All right, so, and as you see, once this loosens up, it'll just slide right out of here. These are like little slider nuts. So once they loosen up like that, as you see, all right guys, see? All right, that came off nice and easy like that. That cord is under a GPU. I'm gonna disconnect this from the motherboard, and that way we're gonna have our fans actually free. Disconnect the SATA, the power to the fans. All right guys, so that's our row of fans there. So we got our fans there. Those will be easy to work with. Okay, I'm gonna put those right here. All right, so as I was saying, oh my God, like, can you guys actually see this? Like how big this card is compared to these cards. Like, look at the size of this card compared to that ROG Strix. Look at that ROG Strix compared to that For the Win 3 3080. Like, it sticks out at least a couple more inches, and it is at least probably a half an inch to, yeah, probably a half an inch, maybe even 3/4 of an inch thicker. This card is massive. And guys, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I have two of the most exclusive cards. I've got two GPUs coming that literally I have not been on, or that literally no one on this continent likely has. Okay, so like, these are gonna be like the most elusive GPUs ever. Like, it's so hard to get your hands on these. They are not in America. So, and they are ROG Strix Asus. I'll give you a hint. ROG Strix. All right, guys, and they are such a special GPU. I can't wait to do that opening with you guys. Like, trust me. All right, got it all planned out. All right, so we got our fans off. We're gonna work on our fans, and then we're gonna throw the new 3080s in. As a matter of fact, might as well throw the new 3080s in and do that first. Then we'll get that out of the way. Actually, we'll do the fans first, switch the fans out, then we'll put the 3080s on, and then we'll put the fans back. All right, guys, so we're gonna get the fans. I'm gonna reposition. We'll get the fans over here, and we'll take the fans apart. We'll get the fans on, and then we'll have those ready. Then we'll go ahead and add the GPUs on, and then we'll put everything back together. All right, so see you in a second. All right, so what I've got here is my little handy iFixit kit. Like I said, it's a super cool little kit to have. It's gonna have everything that you're gonna need in it to do a GPU repair, or do any type of repair on your rig. You'll have all the tools you'll need for it. Trust me. All right, I'm gonna get all these off, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just leave them in position for the new fans. And this is magnetic too. That's what's really sweet about this, because as we all know, screws can drop, and yeah, you know, it's hard to get them out of places that are hard to get. But the most important thing, please let me give you this warning: do not work on your rig with your GPUs running in any scenario where you are going to be taking out a screw. that could potentially fall inside that GPU fan blade. Okay? Do not do that. Make sure you power down your rig when you're working on it, and you want to do that anyway. But even if you're just gonna, let's say, make a quick adjustment or take it, if it's gonna be anything that can potentially come loose, turn your GPUs off, okay? And then also be careful, because if these screws or whatever you're working with, let's say your frame screws, and one of those drops into the radiator or in between your GPU, in one of your GPUs, as you're working on it, and you know, you may not be able to get it out, you may be able to shake it out. Either way, you don't want that problem, period. So just shut your rig down, shut your GPUs down, and be careful when you're working with anything loose that could fall into your GPUs, because you don't want to damage your GPUs. Alright, yeah, leave that one up there. Yeah, I don't want you guys to make the same mistake. I haven't made that mistake, but I almost did. And I can see why it's very dangerous to work with your rig running. It's just worth shutting it down, because, you know, I understand a rig that's not running isn't making money, but also a GPU that's broken is not going to make you money either. So that's why I highly advise to shut the rig down if you're going to work on it. Alright, so got all those off. Now I'm gonna keep my fan grates, because I like these cool black ones, and the Wathais. I don't know, the Wathais, yeah, they come with the chrome ones. I remember that. I don't really like the chrome ones. And as you guys see, this is some type of little cheap Chinese fan. I just want to give you an example. It's a game cooling fan. Game cooling fan. It did the trick. Don't get it wrong. It comes on the Veta frame. Does the trick. But if you take a look in comparison to this fan, insane. I mean, the difference. You can just look at it and tell the difference of the two. Like, they're huge compared to these ones. So take a look at that, guys. You can see the difference. Like how thick that is compared to that. It's a side-by-side comparison as to how big the fan is. So yeah, it's a considerable difference. Absolutely. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all these fans out, and I'm going to get them laid out. So, and on this ones, I think I'm going to go, yeah, that's what I'm going to do exactly. Back. So I want to, instead of exhausting the air, I want to push the air on the cards. Which, in my opinion, is probably a better thing to do. I've heard of people just having the fans flipped around and exhausting the air. I've heard it doesn't matter either which way you do with the fans, as long as it's either blowing air or exhausting on it. But I don't know. To be honest, in my opinion, I would think, because you're trying to cool the cards, that the logical thing to do would be to blow the air on the cards. That's just my opinion. That's what I do. So I'll blow the air on the cards. So. All right, I'm gonna get all these out and get all these ready.